I've never really liked roguelikes. I need some amount of permanent progression that allows me to finish a piece of content. Upgrading stats and weapons is cool, but that alone won't keep me engaged. I've always thought to myself, what if there was a game that was like a roguelike, but broke itself down into several chunks, each of which you had to restart after dying and procedurally generated the encounters? This is basically exactly that. The original Superhot was a short showcase for an incredibly unique idea. Time moves at the same speed as you do, so you can take a second to make much more calculated decisions and pull off moves that would never be possible in real time. It uses the standard gameplay mechanic of first-person shooting and turned it into a puzzle game in which you figure out the best way to take out every enemy in the level without getting hit. For the sequel, Superhot team could have just added a few new mechanics and made a few more levels, but they decided to completely upend the structure. Each node has multiple stages, scrambled in a different order on every run, each of which takes one of the shooting arenas and procedurally generates the enemies with unique placements and weapons. Instead of killing every enemy, the game keeps spawning in new ones. You have to kill enough to meet an arbitrary threshold to make it to the next stage, while trying not to lose a life. You'll start with 2 or 3 lives, and can obtain hacks between some levels that enhance you, but only for that run. If you die, you lose your hacks and have to start again. The variety between runs, the increased length between checkpoints, and the ability to take multiple hits make the game much less of a puzzle, in which you try to figure out the right strategy for an encounter over and over, and instead a series of levels, each of which is a sort of mini-roguelike. This sort of structure avoids the pitfalls of going through a difficult sequence that's also pretty long over and over again, a la Demons and Dark Souls, by spreading the challenge throughout the entire node and changing the order of stages, enemy placements, and abilities you have from run to run, instead of just going through the motions by running through the exact same series of pathways and enemies before repeatedly getting destroyed by a boss fight. It's pretty strange that this desire I've always had to play a sort of series of miniature roguelikes, each of which is a checkpoint at the end, came in the form of a Superhot sequel. I would have never expected that in a million years. This isn't really meant to be an overall review, because otherwise I would have talked about a lot more of the problems with this game, and how it tends to become a bit of a slog after a while. It's probably not even on the list of the top 10 games I played this year, to be honest. This brilliant touch of design I've elaborated on is the main thing this game does well, considering that the core gameplay style was just carried over from the last one. But the amount of potential and the groundwork it's laid in this area is so fruitful that it would feel wrong not to talk about it, and it's not getting anywhere near as much attention as it should be. I didn't even know that this game existed until it got added to Xbox Game Pass a few months after release, and I'm pretty dialed into games media. I just hope that a game designer somewhere feels the same way that I do about this game, and takes inspiration from it on a new project, because it would be really sad to see all of this structure innovation never be iterated on.